Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome back. I am jumping right into this video. This is featuring some dies that I purchased at Michael's, the Recollection brand. So you want to go back if you're interested and want to see. I got a stapler and then these other dies. If you want to see a little bit more about them, I'll have it linked in the description, the first video that's kind of the unboxing, so to speak, of these dies. But I wanted to try them out, so I'm going to make a few cards. Here, I had pulled some of these frame dies, and they're a little too large, really on the edge to go through my diamond press marquee, so I'm going to have to use my regular die cutting machine. But I will save that big piece right there of the yellow paper. And I want to do kind of a summer theme. At the recording of this video, we are in a major heat wave where I am. It is hot, 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 and nothing but the sun. So I'm definitely thinking about the beach, wishing I were at the beach. And so I have some of this leftover paper from a Stamps of Life card kit, from June's card kit, which is very recent, I believe. And so I'm just going to use up some of the items from that. Okay, so if you've watched that video, you'll see some of the same little items, but I'm just going to use this because it was on my desk and it was very summery. All right, so I've got these cute dies here. I am using a 5x7 card base on this one because these dies are larger. I think the largest one is almost 8 inches, so it's definitely not going to fit on an A2 card. But I am going to hold on to some of these pieces, and I'm going to end up making a second card out of this because why on earth would I want to waste it? And that's just not going to happen. But I thought, oh, I want to use that frame too with some solid cardstock. And I've got these little umbrellas this is from the card kit that I mentioned from Stamps of Life. And these are just the little pre-printed pieces that you can die cut. And I thought, well, these would be great to help me create some of these summer themed cards. All right. And so I'm just kind of figuring out where I want things to go. I've got another card base here. This is an A2 sized. So this is 4¼ by 5½. And that one I am going to use, and I'm showing you that the frame is just too large. And that's not even the largest die. So if you're interested in using this for maybe scrapbooking, these would be great. But I am definitely all into frames right now. They are really, I'm seeing them around a lot and in the marketplace, and I'm really loving a frame. So I was excited to see this in my Michaels, and you can see I'm moving those other dies. But again, if you're interested, check the description for that first set. And I'm going to use some of those other dies at some point as well as the stapler that I had an interesting adventure with. Okay, so I'm pulling out a really old Stamps of Life set that is summer themed. It's like flip-flops, I think it was called. I'm pretty sure it's retired. It may still be available, but I wanted these little stamps, enjoy and relax, and I thought it would just be cute to keep a pretty plain background since I've got that patterned paper. And so I'm just going to pull up some ink here. I've got, I'm not even sure I've used these little stamps before. I know I've used the bigger ones, the flip-flops, but I'm not even sure I've used these. So I'm just kind of stamping it off, and I'm going to do a little freehand stamping here, hoping that I don't make any boo-boos instead of pulling out my stamp positioner. And then while I've got my stamps out, I'm going to go ahead and decide what I want to do on this other one as well. Okay. And so I'm just going to peel that off. My block is a little too large. I really should be using a smaller block, but it's what was handy in front of me. Okay. And then the other stamp says enjoy. So one of these could go to someone who's already at the beach, or maybe you're just going to wish them a summer of fun in the sun wherever they may be. And then I'm going to add this little miss you, little teeny tiny little miss you. I'm just going to kind of stamp that off and make sure that it's, and I almost messed that up and almost went off the edge and stamped crooked right there, but I got really lucky and it ended up in the sun. So I was saved of not having to ruin that paper. I would have been very sad about that. Okay. So I'm just going to start gluing and putting some of these cards together. I'm going to keep them pretty simple. I definitely going to put this little frame around here. And then I've got the little chair and the umbrella that I'm going to adhere to this card. One of them, I think I'm going to use some foam The other one I'm going to keep pretty flat. And you can see that this frame, you could trim this card base down if you wanted to. That is an A2, so the frame is a little bit of a different shape in that it leaves a little more edge on the side, which doesn't bother me. If it bothered me, you could just, if it bothered you, I should say, you could just trim down that card and make it a little smaller if there's a little too much border for you. But I've added some foam here to this, and I've got those popped up my chair and my umbrella, which I wish I was sitting in right now. I hope you're having a good summer right now. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time with these dies. I have had some Recollections dies before many times. They've mostly been like a Christmas theme. They usually put out some really good Christmas sets with a die and a stamp set kind of thing, or just the dies that coordinate. But I have not worked with these, just what I would call standalone dies. So I wanted to see how the quality is, and I'm very happy. It cut right through everything, no problems whatsoever. All right, so I have this one little starfish. I have a couple of these left from the card kit, which is like a little hard plastic starfish that I thought would be cute to keep that simple card and keep it simple, I should say, and finish it off. I did go back into my stash. I had this little icons set. If you followed me at all, I love dolphins. I have a real love affair with dolphins. When I get to go to the beach and I see them, every vacation we can find them in a couple of places they tend to frequent, and so I just love going and watching them. My children make fun of me because I will stay on the beach for an hour just like chasing them down on my bike or on foot, and then if they pop back up, I'm on them again, just watching. I can never get enough seeing them. So I'm just taking this cute little dolphin stamp here. There's a kind of one jumping out of the water, and then there's one sort of going in the water. And I made, freehanding this. Didn't pull out my stamp positioner because I just didn't want to spend the time. And so I'm going back and kind of repairing two of those that I missed, and they looked pretty good. So I just want to see how my dolphins are filling in here. I definitely want more. And so I'm going to pull out the other little one that's kind of swimming through the water. And then I want to start adding that one and filling my page a little bit more. So I'm kind of making a little dolphin frame around this card because it makes me so happy to see the little dolphins just jumping through the water. And especially when it's the mama and the baby, they're just the cutest thing. And then we get so excited if they show us their tail. Usually at high tide, a lot of times they'll show their tail because they're kind of having to dig deeper to get stuff. And so we just get very excited. I get very excited, I should say. My poor husband just goes along with it. All right. So this last one, I'm going to add a few more and finish out kind of my frame. So this just kind of came together. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do here, but I knew I wanted to incorporate the dolphins somehow. Okay. So that looks pretty good. And then I still have plenty of room for that patterned paper, that the positive and negative that I'm using here on this. All right. And then I need to start gluing everything down, and then I'm just going to add my chair and my umbrella to finish this off to get my cards. And then I'm going to do one more thing with another set of dies here. And so this one again, I'm just going to add this onto my card again, which is 5x7. And then I will add that middle piece, enjoy and miss you. Okay. And then that's going to be it for this card. So it's coming together and using that liquid glue. And I'm not going to add foam, I don't think, on this one, just to keep it flat for mailing. Okay? So here's this last little piece to finish this off. And that's cute, just kind of as is. I just happen to have those little pieces to add on. And then, again, that's the little icons that I use, the little dolphin. Very cute. I think Stamps of Life has a bunch of those. They're fun to add to back of cards and things like that. So if you're, or to create a background, they're great, obviously, for helping create a quick background. All right, let me glue this down and add my chair, and that will be it for this one. So cute. So again, enjoying the dies so far. All right. And I definitely would need an umbrella today at the beach. I think it's about close to 100 where we are, which we live in the South and we're used to that heat, but even for us, that's stay inside kind of weather if you can, or you'd have to hydrate for sure. Don't want to get caught outside in that heat with no water. All right. So here are the two that I made, okay, and I'm just showing you that one stands up. And then I decided that I wanted to do one more and make a shaped card. I do that a lot with the Fold-Its from Stamps of Life, and I'm just showing you a couple more of these little dies, and I'm just, kind of thinking, oh, they're so cute, I want to cut them out. But then I just decided to go ahead and make another card, and I had some more of that pattern paper from this kit. I love, besides dolphins, I love shells. So those are my two big things with the beach that I love. And so I'm going to use some of this pattern paper here to cut out. I thought I'd make a tag, and then I decided to make a shaped card. I thought, oh, this would look really good as a tag, and you could. I think it would be really fun to cut this out. You just put a little hole punch at the top, or you could just take your scissors and punch a hole. You don't have to have a tool for that. You can make it work, and then just slip your ribbon in there, and nobody's really going to even notice it, that you didn't use a hole punch. But I would definitely use a hole punch if I had it, just for ease. And so I'm just going to decide to do something different with this. But when my girls were little, I remember one summer, I think we were going to the beach, and I got some little sand buckets and filled them with some little toys, and I made a little tag and tied it on there with their name. And I think this would be a fun way to do that. If you have like an alphabet die, you could punch out their name and put it on there kind of as an end of school little gift or something to kind of kick off summer. Fill it with some sidewalk chalk or something fun like that. I think that would just be a fun little gift for some little friends like that. But anyway, I digress. So I have folded this paper over. I've got some purple cardstock, run it through the machine, but I left that little edge at the top. You can see the little at the top that's kind of been cut off, and you'll see that I have a shaped card here. Okay. And so now this will turn into a card that I can mail. Just that easy. It's so quick and easy. So I'm going to glue this down, and I'm not going to add anything really to the front except for I had one more of the umbrella and the little beach chair, and I'm going to add that on there. And then I think I'm going to add, I got to see if I have that actually, now that I say that. I'm not 100% sure I have that. Let's see. Okay, yes, so I did. I added that on there, and then I'm going to add a sentiment at some point. And I will do something more with that. But I just wanted to share that idea that you could turn this into a shaped card. Okay, so here again are the other two cards that I made using those dies. So just from two different sets at Michael's, and check back. I'll have some more videos coming up with some of these other dies, and definitely the stapler. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a great summer and have a great day.